Our next presentation takes us in a different direction. We're actually going towards science. This is a tandem TED Talk where we have two presenters, Michael Anderson and Valibhav Dubsey. Michael Anderson and Valibhav Dubsey are both sophomores here at Dartmouth High School. Michael is very interested in math and science, more specifically computer science, cosmology, and astrophysics. Michael is involved in both the winter track and tennis programs, as well as the media program here at DHS. Additionally, Michael is the captain and lead programmer for one of the two DHS robotics teams. Valibhav Dubsey is also involved in the robotics team, serving as both the business and outreach coordinators for the program. He is also involved in the Media Tech program and is very interested in science and math, as you will clearly see from their presentation. Together, Michael and Valibhav chose their TED Talk of science because of their great interest in the subject matter. Their goal today is to show you the importance of science to your life. Please welcome Michael Anderson and Valibhav Dubsey as they present The Cosmic Perspective.
All right. So, let's start today off with a question. What is the cosmos? And the answer is we really don't know. The cosmos is basically a big space of just nothingness that we can conceptualize and basically say what we want to about it. And no one can say you're wrong because we can't prove anything that we think about it. So to try to put a name on the cosmos, we have to go a little deeper and find out what it's made out of. So this is a planet.
Wow, that's a planet. The planet is blue like a blue whale.
If we were to go even further, we would get to the surface of the planet and look probably like this.
Wow, that's the surface of the blue planet. It's blue like a bunch of blue whales.
If we were to go even further, we'd probably find one of these. Now, you probably all already know what this is called. It's called an atom. It's the name that's most accepted amongst all chemists. And we wouldn't just find any atom. We'd probably find a bunch, but we'd most likely find, most commonly, one of these. This is a helium-4 atom. It's the most common abundant isotope of helium. And this is what stars are pretty much made out of. So the reason that stars glow, the reason that stars can be different colors, is all because of this one atom.
So let's talk about what goes on in the cosmos. Stars are being created, more life is getting complex with more molecules getting more complex bondings. Nebulas are being formed more. Like that, there's a star being created with a combination of hydrogen and helium. And that's a new nebula being formed.
And you'd also find one of these.
Yeah, that's an Earth. And on Earth, there are some good things like this dog on a shirt, and then
there's also some not so good things. So, so how does this all work? How does this all fit together? Well, we're gonna go somewhere simpler and something you can understand. And Valibhav's gonna show us how this works.
Ooh, a lady hydrogen, look at that. Ooh, a male hydrogen, look at that. And so they go on a date, and lady, male, bloop.
All right, so they combine to make Okay, so they combine to make hydrogen 2 atom. Now, hydrogen 2 is pretty much the most abundant isotope of hydrogen that we know of. It's pretty much what hydrogen gas made out of in liquid hydrogen. So, that's not all, though.
There's also radioactive elements, You mess up with the protons and the neutrons of the element, kaboom.
So, not many people know this, but so we have nuclear power plants on Earth, obviously. Now, these are fission reactors. They're the only reactors we can create currently because a fusion reactor would take the amount of heat that the sun is currently heated at, and you can't contain that amount of heat without, well, burning yourself. So, nuclear reactions only take place naturally in space. You cannot find a nuclear reaction naturally on Earth unless they were manufactured by man. And there's also types of different decay.
So there's the alpha, beta, and the gamma.
And these images were created by Khan Academy.
Yes.
So, how are humans involved in this? What's our purpose?
So, a really good scientist, I appreciate him. He says, reality is not what you perceive. It's what the methods and tools of science reveal. So that means when you wake up in the morning and do science, you might have different opinions about things, you know? Like your mom just whipped your behind and you're like, I hate science. And then one time, I don't know, one time you found a penny on the ground and you're like, I'm having a good day. I like science. And it was said by my favorite scientist. Who is it? Who is it? Neil. DeGrasse Tyson. It's Neil. It's Neil. It's Neil. It's Neil. It's Neil. It's Neil.
Thank you.
So let's just talk about how big we feel. We feel like we can change the world. Yeah, no. You see that speck of dust in the middle, that little white dot? Yeah, that's not a speck of dust. These are the rings of Saturn. And when NASA sent its spacecraft Cassini, it took 13 rounds of Saturn and then just died. That was its plan. And during its death spiral, its 13th spiral, NASA said, you know what, Cassini? Let's take a selfie. So the camera in the spacecraft just turned and took this picture. These are the rings of Saturn, and that's Earth, seen through the rings of Saturn. So if you feel big, yeah, no.
It's very small.
It's small, like Donald Trump's hands.
And another reason to think why we're really so small is that little speck right there, that's our sun. This is UY Scuti, which is a massive star that we can't even get to yet.
No.
Okay, so like I said, we can only conceptualize the universe and make concepts about what we think happens and what it is. So this here is the most known one. This is a black hole, and it basically takes the fabric of space-time and just sucks it somewhere else.
And then, does anybody know what a wormhole is? No, you don't, because I'm going to teach you right now. So, that's the fabric of space. Imaginary boyos, like nobody knows what it is. We just think there's a fabric of space, but because of our curiosities as humans, we thought about time travel, and we said, what if we bend time and the Earth went around, so if the Earth goes around outside the fabric of space, what if we found that little shortcut in the middle and just came out of the other end right there? But if this is the present and we go into the future and the Earth isn't even in the future, where are we then? So we are literally seeing the past of the stars that are ahead of us. You know? No? Okay.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about space travel. So we're talking about all these things that we can think happen, and we have seen happen before in the universe through telescopes. But how are we going to get there? So here's pretty much who's going to help us do that. You have NASA. NASA is probably the most common one. So NASA is basically the main space association for the United States. They are currently funding a ton of Mars missions, and they got us to the moon in the 1900s. Boeing. Most people don't know what Boeing is, but if you've ever been on a plane, it was probably made by Boeing. Boeing pretty much manufactures aircrafts and spaceships.
Boeing.
You have this fine gentleman right here. This is Elon Musk. He's the founder of Tesla and SpaceX, and he recently put his car into space. And this other fine gentleman right here, Jeff Bezos, he's the CEO of Amazon. Most people don't know, but he's funded countless Mars missions. So let's talk a little about light years and aliens. So most people use these terms, and they don't really know what they're talking about.
No.
So a light year is pretty much a measure for like how we're going to get somewhere, how far away something is. So if I were to stand on Mars and say, Veba, what were you doing a few years ago?
Oh, eating food.
So if I were to stand on Mars and I were to look through a telescope at Earth and I were to focus in on Vebo, I would see Vebo eating food. Now, what that means is that if we were to stand on a galaxy that was so far away that we wouldn't even be able to get to it, and we were to stay at Earth, if it was like 65 million light years or somewhere around there away, we would see dinosaurs on Earth. We wouldn't see humans.
And let's talk about aliens. You know, you go to your science class and the teacher says, you're made of chnobs, you know? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. Yeah. Sulfur. And those are the most abundant elements in the space. So it's kind of bizarre to think that there are no alien species. So yes, I am saying there might be aliens somewhere. We just need proof. Aliens, they might have visited us, they might have not. We just need scientific proof. Eyewitness testimony is the most highest in the court of law. Like you said, ooh, I watched him eat that candy. So the judge will be like, yeah, that's what we needed. In science, you say, ooh, I see a spaceship. The scientists will say, get out right now, because they don't believe in eyewitness that much. Just as humans, we think if you have a badge like a police officer or president, you think they are smarter than you, but we are all humans. Because there was a case, a police officer came to the scientist's laboratory and said, I saw a UFO. I just saw a UFO, I can show you right now. He took the scientist outside. The scientist did some things, you know, calculations, and then said, that's Venus. That's just a planet. And then the police officer said, it was moving. It was a curved road he was moving. He didn't even notice he was driving his car like that.
So those are the measurements for a light year, and the Messier galaxy is actually 65 million light years away. And if you were to stay on the Messier 100 galaxy and look at Earth, you would probably see not many humans.
Yeah, that's alien. And can you go I just want to read the number, it's fun. It's 382 quintillion, 110 quadrillion, 638 trillion, 77,736,600 miles. And then that's an alien.
Okay, so what do we want you to get out of this today? We basically just talked about nuclear chemistry, chemistry, and the main concepts of the universe. So we want you to think that you're all the same. You're all made out of what the universe is made out of, and you can do big things. You might not realize it, but you could have been a star of like a couple 100 billion years ago or something.
Yeah.
So you're all made of the same atoms that everything else is made out of, and you should feel a connection between each other.
Yes.
Because we're all the same, whether you like it or not.
Science connects us all together, boys.
I'm Michael, that's Vebo. Thank you.
Thank you.